Ever get that itch? You know that one, to just get out there and see the world, explore those places you always dreamed of.
Oh, absolutely. We all have that wanderlust deep down, right? But then that practical side of your brain chimes in.
Exactly. The one reminding you about bills and bank balances and all that not so fun stuff.
Well, on this deep dive, we're going to tackle that head on. We're going deep on budget travel and backpacking
All about those smart strategies and little secrets that can unlock some truly amazing adventures around the world.
without needing a trust fund or winning the lottery.
Because let's be real, those incredible travel moments shouldn't just be for the super rich.
Totally agree. Take the Grand Canyon, for example, that awe-inspiring view.
It shouldn't be locked behind a paywall, right?
Exactly. It's about making smart choices that prioritize experience, not just how much you spend.
So when we talk about backpacking in this context, we're talking more than just like slinging a giant bag over your shoulder and roughing it, right?
Yeah, right. It's not just about the aesthetics or the gear. It's really a whole philosophy of travel, a way to really maximize your
That
resources,
verse is like,
time, money, even the literal space in your bag. It's
yeah.
all about gaining freedom and those truly rich
It was
experiences.
more about the mindset.
Totally.
Yeah.
Less about what you spend and more about what you gain from your journey. Back to that Grand Canyon example.
Yeah.
It's like budget travel is the key that can unlock that experience for you without breaking the bank.
Love that analogy. So for this deep dive, we're essentially equipping our listeners with that key, giving them the tools to make this happen.
Exactly. We'll cover everything from the backpack itself, those crucial items inside, to finding affordable flights.
We'll also be exploring awesome alternatives to expensive hotels, which honestly can sometimes even enhance your trip.
Oh, definitely. And we'll even touch on some of the people who really pioneered this whole budget travel movement.
People whose philosophies still guide how we travel affordably today. So by the end of this, our listeners will have that solid toolkit to start planning their own incredible and affordable adventures.
That's the goal.
Sounds great. Let's jump right in then. And what better place to start than with the backpack itself? You called it a travel lifeline. So why is the bag so important for budget backpacking?
Well, think of it this way. It's your home on the road, right? You're going to be living out of it, carrying everything you need every single day.
Makes sense.
So first and foremost, it needs to be durable. No question about it. We're talking about bags getting tossed onto buses, crammed into overhead compartments, you name it.
They go through a lot.
They really do. But at the same time, you're the one carrying it. So every ounce, every gram really makes a difference.
Right, so you don't want to be weighed down by the bag itself.
Exactly. A lightweight design is super important for your comfort. Then there's organization. Multiple compartments are key.
Not just for neat freaks, right?
Definitely not. This is about making your life on the road easier, saving time and reducing stress when you need to find something quickly.
You don't want to be digging through your entire bag just to find your toothbrush.
Exactly. And another thing, never underestimate a good waterproof cover.
Oh yeah, good point.
Imagine getting caught in a sudden downpour and all your gear gets soaked. That can really ruin a trip.
Absolutely a trip ruiner. So we've got our trusty, durable, and lightweight backpack. What about the actual packing part? You mentioned the art of packing. Spill the secrets.
Okay, so it's all about becoming a master of space management. That might sound a little dramatic, but honestly, it makes a huge difference. One of the simplest tricks, roll your clothes instead of folding them.
Really? That makes a difference.
It does. It's amazing how much more compact you can get things by rolling. And then my personal favorite, packing cubes. Have you used these before?
I've seen them, but I'm not sure I fully understand the height.
They are game changers. Think of them as little zippered organizers, different sizes. You can get them for everything.
Okay, I see.
Not only do they help compress your clothes even further, but they also let you categorize everything. Shirts in one, trousers in another, underwear in another.
Keeps everything nice and organized.
Exactly. No more rummaging through your whole bag for that one sock. Say you arrive after a long travel day, you're exhausted. With packing cubes, bam, you grab a fresh shirt without unpacking your whole life.
Genius. Okay, so we're organized. Space-saving masters.
Yeah.
What about the absolute must-haves? Those essentials you should never leave home without, even if you're going super minimalist.
Absolutely. First up, compact first aid kit. Cannot stress this enough.
Essential for safety, for sure.
Totally. Little scrapes, headaches, those unexpected tummy troubles, those can happen anywhere.
Happens to the best of us.
Having those basic supplies right there with you gives you peace of mind and can save you from those frantic pharmacy searches in a foreign country.
Big time saver.
What else?
Reusable water bottle. Must have.
For the environment and the wallet. Exactly. Two birds, one stone. Especially in places where you can drink the tap water, you save so much money not buying bottles all the time.
And, of course, gotta stay hydrated.
For sure. And in this digital age, don't even think about leaving home without a portable phone charger.
Totally agree. I'd be lost without mine.
You're going to rely on your phone for everything. Navigation, communication, looking up information. A dead battery can throw a real wrench in your plans.
No one wants to be stuck without Google Maps. Okay, so we've got safety, hydration, and connectivity covered. What about clothes? Packing light while still being prepared for different climates and respecting cultural norms? That sounds like a real challenge. What's your approach?
The key is versatility. Layers, layers, layers.
Layering, got it.
Think thin, adaptable garments that you can add or remove depending on the weather. You can cover a surprisingly wide range of conditions with just a few well-chosen pieces.
So what, like a base layer, something warmer, and a waterproof outer shell?
You got it. Way more efficient than packing a bunch of bulky sweaters or a heavy coat.
Smart. Any other clothing essentials?
Don't overlook a microfiber towel.
Microfiber. What's so special about them?
Unlike those regular bulky towels, microfiber towels are super lightweight, dry incredibly fast, and fold down to practically nothing.
Sounds ideal for travel.
It is. Small investment, but it'll save you a lot of space and hassle.
Okay, so our backpack's packed strategically. We're ready to go. What about those budget-busting flights? Any insider tips on finding affordable airfare?
Because that's usually where a big chunk of the travel budget goes.
Oh, for sure. Timing and flexibility are your best friends here. Airline pricing can be a bit of a mystery, constantly changing.
So how do we navigate that?
Use those fare comparison websites, Skyscanner, Google Flights, Momondo. These are your go-to tools.
Okay, so compare prices across different airlines.
Exactly. But here's the real pro tip. Set up price alerts.
Price alerts, interesting.
Yeah, you put in your routes, your dates, and then you get notified if the price drops.
So you can jump on that deal. Boom, exactly. And there are a few other less obvious things to keep in mind. Be open to flying midweek.
Midweek? How come?
Tuesdays and Wednesdays tend to have lower demand, so the fares can be cheaper compared to those weekend flights.
Good to know. Anything else?
Think about flying into smaller airports.
Instead of the major hubs.
Yeah, those secondary airports often have lower landing fees, which can sometimes mean cheaper tickets for you.
You might have a bit more ground transportation to get to your final destination.
True, but the potential savings could be worth it. Think outside the box, or rather, outside the main airport. All right, we've landed. Accommodation is another big expense. What strategies can help us keep a roof over our heads without spending a fortune?
I mean, hotels can really eat into a travel budget.
Big time. But hostels are your friend here.
Hostels, the budget traveler's classic.
They are, but they're not just about cheap beds. It's a whole vibe, a real sense of community.
Right, you meet people from all over.
Exactly. Swapping travel stories, sharing tips, maybe even finding some travel buddies for your adventures.
Plus, they often have shared kitchens.
Right, you can save a ton of money by cooking some of your meals. But if you're looking to go even more budget-friendly, maybe even free.
There are options for that too.
There are. Couchsurfing is pretty amazing. It's basically connecting with locals who open their homes to travelers.
Wow, so you get a free place to stay.
Often, yes, but it goes way beyond that. You get that local experience, those insider recommendations you won't find in any guidebook, and you often make some really genuine connections with your hosts.
Sounds like a truly unique experience.
It is. Another option we touched on is volunteering. You can exchange work for room and board, which is a fantastic way to really immerse yourself in a culture and, of course, save a ton on accommodation.
So what kind of work are we talking about?
It can vary a lot. Platforms like Workaway and WOF connect travelers with hosts worldwide. Could be helping on an organic farm, maybe at a vineyard, helping out at a hostel, caring for animals.
Wow, so many different possibilities.
There really are. In exchange for a few hours of work each day, you typically get free accommodation and often meals too.
Win-win for everyone.
Absolutely. All these amazing approaches to seeing the world just show that budget travel isn't about sacrifice. It's about being resourceful and creative.
And a little bit adventurous too.
Oh, definitely. It's a different way of traveling for sure. And there are some people we should definitely mention, real pioneers who shaped this whole way of thinking.
Oh, absolutely. Their philosophies have paved the way for budget travel as we know it. Who are some of the big names we should know about?
Well, you can't talk about budget travel, especially in Europe, without mentioning Rick Steves.
Rick Steves, yeah, I've heard of him.
He's been advocating for affordable travel for decades. His whole philosophy is about immersing yourself in the culture.
Soaking it all in, not just checking things off a list.
Right. Connecting with locals, learning the history, experiencing the place authentically.
Instead of just, like, staying at fancy hotels and eating at expensive restaurants.
Exactly. His guidebooks and TV shows have inspired so many people to travel independently and affordably. Another huge name is Tony Wheeler.
Tony Wheeler.
He's the co-founder of Lonely Planet.
Oh, wow. Lonely Planet. I've definitely seen those guidebooks.
Back in the early 70s, he and his wife, Maureen, they went on this epic overland trip across Asia. That experience led to the very first Lonely Planet guidebook.
That's incredible.
These guides quickly became like the Bible for budget travelers, filled with all this practical advice on how to navigate the world on a shoestring.
So they really democratized travel.
They did. They provided all this detailed information on affordable transportation, accommodation, activities, and it was all about those off-the-beaten-path adventures, real hidden gems. It was like they empowered people to explore even the most remote corners of the world.
That's amazing. So inspiring to see how they made global exploration possible for so many. Now, you promised some mind-blowing facts and quirky aspects of budget travel.
Oh, yeah, I'm ready to deliver on that promise. Let's start with something truly epic. Get this. You can travel by train all the way from Portugal to Vietnam.
Whoa, seriously.
Seriously, you take the Trans-Siberian Railway and connect it with other train lines across Europe and Asia.
Wow.
It's a multi-week adventure through incredible landscapes and cultures, and the total cost can often be less than flying the whole way.
That's the kind of adventure that makes for some serious stories.
Definitely. Okay, for something a little quirkier, there are capsule hotels in Japan. Have you heard of these?
Capsule Hotel.
They're these little individual sleeping pods. Think super efficient, futuristic design.
That's so interesting. I'm picturing like a scene from a sci-fi movie.
Kind of. They're super clean, safe, and surprisingly affordable, especially in those big cities. Definitely a memorable experience. And for something a bit more lighthearted, there's the phenomenon of hostel cats.
Hostel cats. Okay, I'm intrigued.
Apparently, loads of budget-friendly accommodations around the world have these resident cats.
Aw, that's adorable.
Right. They provide those unexpected cuddles and a little bit of home comfort for travelers.
I love it. These quirky details add a whole other level of fun to budget travel. As we wrap up, what's the core takeaway you want our listeners to leave with?
Budget travel is about prioritizing experiences over material possessions. It's about understanding that those most valuable aspects of travel, the things that really stick with you, those don't have to come with a huge price tag.
It's about the journey, not just the destination.
Exactly. By being resourceful, embracing a bit of minimalism, and really engaging with local cultures, you gain the freedom to explore the world without that constant financial worry.
It's about making smart choices that lead to those truly unforgettable experiences. So let's recap for our listeners. We talked about choosing the right backpack, packing it strategically with those essential, versatile items.
We covered smart flight booking, those price alerts, considering the secondary airports.
We explored all those resourceful accommodation options, from hostels to couch surfing to even working in exchange for room and board.
We even touched on those budget travel pioneers who really paved the way.
And of course, we had some fun with those mind-blowing facts and quirky travel experiences. So as you think about your own travel dreams, remember this. By embracing these budget travel strategies, you're not just saving money.
You're opening yourself up to a whole new world of travel. A richer, more authentic, and maybe even more adventurous experience than you ever thought possible.
What amazing off-the-beaten-path places might you discover? What incredible connections might you make? What stories will you bring back?
By choosing to explore the world a little differently, you might just uncover those hidden gems that truly make a journey unforgettable.
That's something to think about as you plan your next deep dive into the world. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Happy travels, everyone!